Other big story of the day is the state's first snowfall for most of us. We know northern Maine saw some already, but Keith,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are paying attention to this.
And not only that, Amanda, I noticed this morning, it's one of those, I have those little house shoes. It's like a very old person's
Slippers?
thing. But they're so comfortable. They're from LL Bean. You know, the little...
Yeah.
But today was the first day that I felt like wearing them, and we got down to the 20s in a lot of spots. So it was chilly, setting the stage for our snow tomorrow. 15 in Freiburg and Sanford at 15 degrees too. Nice bright day so far. Clouds starting to come in from the southwest as we anticipated. We thought right around noon those clouds would start moving in. That's just about right. 12:30, you can see now moving into York County and parts of Cumberland and Oxford County as well. Out ahead of our storm system, which is right now kind of just a mess. It's really two separate areas, one towards Chicago, the other back towards, Raleigh, and that will kind of consolidate into a coastal low, and that's what's going to give us some snow late tonight in through the day tomorrow. So our forecast actually looks remarkably similar to what it looked like yesterday, which isn't always a given when it comes to snow forecasts. Some things change a lot. This storm hasn't really been one of those. So early tomorrow morning we begin, and the only difference I'd say over the last 12 hours in the computer model runs is that boundary layer temperatures along the coast have gotten even a little bit warmer. So now I'm questioning whether or not we'll really see any snow along the coast. It was never going to be a big deal, but it might be hard to even mix into snow if we're sitting at 38, 39, 40 degrees. We'll keep an eye on that, but farther inland, it will be snow through tomorrow morning's commute, especially from Augusta to Lewiston to Freiburg, Brownfield, and back into North Conway. There'll probably see some decent snowfall rates there in the morning commute, especially the first half of the morning. Eventually, we'll change over to sleet there. Snow will stay in the mountains, and then the whole storm kind of gets into a dry slot situation in which the dynamics of the storm die out. And once there's less precipitation coming down, the rate is slowed down. That changes things over to drizzle and rain along the coastline, and freezing drizzle is likely, I think, into the foothills. Now, nobody likes freezing drizzle or rain or any of that, but with these surface temperatures right around freezing, I don't think we'll see big problems as far as icing. Usually you need to be in the 20s to have issues with that. Holding on to snow into the mountains and across northern Maine, and then the system exits tomorrow afternoon into early tomorrow night, and things are quiet behind it, although still on the cool side, certainly for this time of the year. So again, I don't see any real change to this forecast. The only difference, I would say, just how I was picturing the storm yesterday versus today, is that if you're along the immediate coastline, it might just start as cold rain. It's going to be really close as to whether or not we'll even be able to mix any flakes in. Otherwise, it is a mix, but it doesn't really accumulate too much in the green area. 1 to 3 from Bangor into Lewiston. Lewiston's probably closer to an inch or two, most likely. Foothills 3 to 6 mountains, 6 to 8. Todd took the 10 down to an 8. I agree with that. Ratios don't look as good, but they'll take it after being nervously sitting around 70 as they wanted to start their ski season. So that moves out, big trough takes over. That means that in general, we're going to be cool the next 7 days. We'll watch a coastal low here for the weekend, but I think it's likely to be out to sea, would not be an issue for us. So quieter for the next few days after our system, but only around 40 degrees. And again, we'll see what happens with Sunday. I think the models have kind of pushed that farther and farther away from us, which makes me not really worry about it as much. But fair enough, put a chance of a shower in there Sunday afternoon, that's fine. Blustery and cold into the 30s, overnight temperatures in the teens. So Amanda, not a huge deal. I would argue maybe the bigger change here is people were really happy that they weren't having to use heat yet, and that seems like that has ended. It's not brutally cold, but 38 for a high, 15 for a low. Definitely some heating demand there.
Cold enough to turn it on.
Yep.
Thank you, Keith.